Hello everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Midgard Musings. And as always, I am your host, Jesse. We got a few people watching right now, just waiting for a few more guests to arrive. And I want to welcome everyone and hail everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And sorry for the late broadcast today, but I was actually at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, which is why you see me in a bit of a different appearance than what you may be used to normally seeing me in. But nonetheless, we are going to be broadcasting live again for the next 9 stanzas of the Hávamál. I see Brandon Staton watching. Hello, my friend. Hail. Thank you for watching. And thank you all for watching. Really excited about getting into these 9 stanzas this week, and I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on this. So I appreciate you, everybody, joining me today. While we wait for a few more people to arrive, I'm going to just get my drink ready, take a little bit of this hit from this vape. Get into the mood. Oh yeah, I also got this really awesome, before we pour this, I also got this really awesome incense from Renaissance Festival today. This is a sage, spice, and citrus aroma. So we're going to get that going here. Yeah. You guys ready? I'm ready. I've been ready all day. Alright. Now let's crack open this delicious iron stock toasted porter that I do on tradition every week. Absolutely love this. This is like my weekly tradition. I look forward to this beer every single week because this is the only time that I drink it. It's become a tradition. I share this with all of you fine folks. So skål to all of you. We will be getting this underway before you know it. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had a great week. And hope everybody's looking forward to today's musings from Hávamál. Today we are covering stanzas, by the way, we're covering stanzas 46 through 54. I'm going to take a look at this comment real quick because I see Brandon posted something. Sorry, guys. The best beer ever. Yeah, you're absolutely right, my man. If you guys haven't checked it out and you like dark beer with amazing, rich flavor, check it out. Ironstock Toasted Porter. Check your local beer stores. It's not typically on the shelf at like Walmart or your average beer distributor, but if you go to like a beer and liquor store, they'll probably have it. Check around for it in your area. Skål to all of you. Alright, let me top this off, and we're going to get right into this week's stanzas. Alright, so, as always, I am reading from Dr. Jackson Crawford's translation or edition of the Poetic Edda, which the Hávamál can be found in. You can also pick up Hávamál by itself in a pocket version, pocket translation. It's all 160 some odd stanzas, I believe it is 167 maybe. Hold on, I'll tell you guys right now. I don't want to give you misinformation. Let's see how accurate I was. 164. I'm sorry, 164 stanzas. You can pick up Hávamáls very easily online, but you can also check out the study version of the Hávamál from the Ossetru community, which I will post a link to in the description of this video after it goes on YouTube. So, if you guys are just tuning in now, you've just gotten here in time because we're just about to start reading stanzas 46 through 54 of the Hávamál from Dr. Jackson Crawford's edition. So if you have this and you'd like to read along with me, definitely feel free to do so. If you have your own version of the Hávamál and you want to read along with me, definitely encourage you to do that as well. Hey, we got somebody else checking in here. Let me just read this comment real quick and then we're going to go ahead. Crystal, skål! Thanks for checking in. Really appreciate that. Alright guys, So here we go. Stanza 46 of the Hávamál. Last week we were reading about friends and how to deal with friends who treat you well, and how we deal with friends who treat us less than well. And so the stanzas continue on in that same vein in stanza 46. Let me read stanza 45 just to get the full kind of thing about this whole... what's the word I'm trying to go for here, guys? The feel of this. Stanza 45 says, "But if you have another friend and you mistrust him but want to benefit from him nonetheless, you should speak to him kindly, flatter him, and repay his treachery with your own." Stanza 46 says, "This same friend, if you mistrust him and suspect him to be false in his words, you should talk with him, laugh with him, but repay just what he gives you." So Odin's warning us again, or advising us again on how to deal with these friends, these acquaintances who we tend to come across and have in our lives, that if they're good to you, be good to them. And if they're not, use them for your benefit. Use them for your own, things that you could benefit from, or things that you could gain from this person. Definitely, be kind to them and be, flatter them and give them what they want so that you can get what you want out of them. This is a very common mindset that Odin specifically has. So it's no surprise that this would be something that he would advise us to do. Stanza 47 says, "I was young once, I walked alone, and I became lost in my way. I felt like I was rich when I met another traveler. People's joy is in other people." Now, this is probably one of the most beautiful or wholesome stanzas in the Hávamál. Because what it's telling us, or at least what I'm getting out of this, is that Odin's saying that when he was young and when he was alone and he was lost, he became lost in his way during this lonely time. And when he found another traveler, when he received the company of somebody else, he felt like he was rich, because joy is found with other people. So this is to me is expressing the importance of community and the importance of a society that at the time was built around strong community values. To be alone and to be solitary and to be solidarity in your life was, first of all, it could mean your early demise, because the community and the kin and the tribe, the kinship and the tribes, this was something that was critical. Everybody had a job, everybody had tasks, everybody had something that they were tasked to do. So, having that community and having that connection with one another was essential to survival. And Odin is telling us here that to be alone and to, you will feel lost on your travels, and you will feel lost along the way, and that it's better to be in the company of good people, because you will receive joy in that. So it's something to keep in mind. I know there's a lot of us, that myself included, we tend to be very isolated. We tend to be very withdrawn. Heathens in general, because of the nature of our paths, is it being a very individual, type of thing. It's not what I do that's the right way. It's right for me, it may not be right for you. But I think it's important to understand where community falls into that practice. You can practice how you want to, but don't neglect sharing your life and having other people share their lives with you. Stanza 48. Kind, brave people live best. They never nurture a grudge. It's unwise to spend your life worrying, dreading your responsibilities. So a lot of what I'm getting from this particular stanza never don't nurture a grudge. Don't hold on to things that get you bent sideways about. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in a bad mood about something that maybe somebody else did, don't always hold on to that grudge with them. And don't spend your life worrying about what your responsibilities are, especially when it comes to giving and receiving gifts and being kind. Kind and brave people live best. One of the backbones to this society at the time that the Hávamál was written, the very accepted cultural practice was the exchange of gifts. We're going to be hearing a little bit more about gift exchange and gift giving here in the next several stanzas. So we're kind of getting geared up for what is to come with what Odin is talking about. The unwise, or the less than kind, would be dreading what their responsibilities would be after receiving a gift. They may shun the receiving of gifts because they knew that they would then have to come back and give a gift in return for receiving that gift. So that's what this stanza is telling me. And as always, everyone that's watching, in any of my previous videos and any of these previous live streams, I always encourage people that are reading or that are listening along, watching along, to please comment in the comment section about what you feel these stanzas mean, things that they speak to you, because I may be missing something here. This is what I get out of these stanzas, and I'm sharing them with all of you, and I would love to hear what all of you have to say about this. So please feel free to chime in the comment section with what you think these stanzas are saying. So far we've started with stanza 46. We just read stanza 48 of the Hávamál. We're going through to stanza 54. And now we are at stanza 59. Thank you all for watching, by the way, as always. Stanza 49. I gave my clothes to two scarecrows once when I walked in the field. They thought they were human as soon as they had clothes on. A naked man feels ashamed. I've heard different thoughts on this stanza. This to me it says a lot about how we present ourselves. Not necessarily that the image, your image, right? How you were viewed in society was something that was very important, and even to this day, to myself, if I go out in public, I definitely always try to look a certain way, and it's not to be vain, it's not to be, drawing attention in any way, but it's that I feel like my outward image, my outward appearance, is very important on how I'm perceived by other people, because nobody that's going to just look at me is going to know who I am as a person, but they're going to get that first impression by how I look and the way I appear in my appearances. But these scarecrows that Odin's talking about, as soon as he put clothes on, they felt like they were human. You could have horrible clothes, you could have ragged clothes, and you could feel like or you could have the best of something. You could have the best of clothes, and you could feel like you're the greatest of something, but you could be dead and barren underneath it and be nothing but a shell or a scarecrow, so to speak. So your image is important. But how you carry yourself, it should be something more inside of you. And I'm like I said, I'm always willing and open to hear people's comments on these stanzas, because I've heard different things with this particular stanza 49, and I'm definitely anxious to hear what other people think about this one. Additionally, stanza 50 kind of carries on in the same light of this, as far as appearances and things. It says, a fir tree decays, standing over a farm, no longer protected by bark and needles. A person is the same way if nobody loves him. How will he live much longer? So here, what I'm getting is that, Odin is, he sees this fir tree. He sees this tree that's now dead, has no needles on it, no protective bark, and he's comparing this barren tree. He's comparing this tree to a person who has no one in their lives to love them and care for them and show them, that they care. How will you live much longer? And again, this kind of reflects back to what the importance of community and frith and having people around you and having that sort of connectivity in your community, is so important with the culture at the time that the Hávamál was written, that if you're alone, you have nobody with you, nobody to love you, you're the same as a dead tree with no protective bark, no needles, no leaves, no nothing. You're subject to everything that would come at you, and your survival is not going to be very long. If anybody's wondering what we're listening to, it is it's a live stream on YouTube by Donheim. Donheim Radio does a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week live stream of this type of ambient, Viking war music. Very beautiful, very, very amazing stuff, and I love listening to it on a very regular basis. And this is what I have playing in the background on all of the Midgard Musing live streams. So if you're curious and want to check it out, definitely I will, post that in the comments section for Donheim's live radio stream. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Let me just check real quick. I see a comment coming through on the live stream, guys. Sorry for disrupting the view of the camera. Brandon's talking about, says it's more so if you let everything be old in the open, then you are vulnerable. So I'm getting that right. I think it is more so if you let everything be out in the open, then you are more... Okay, yeah, so letting everything out in the open, you are more vulnerable. So you got to be guarded. That's a very good perception there, Brandon. Be guarded. Don't let everything out in the open. Don't think that just because you have the greatest of things and the bestest of things that, you are the greatest or the best. Be guarded about what you put out in front of people, and, don't think that just because you have the best of things that you're automatically the best at things. So that's a great observation, Brandon, and thank you for commenting on that. Alright, so stanza 51, guys. The friendship among false friends burns warmly for 5 days, but then it's extinguished by the 6th day, and the friendship is over. This seems pretty basic to me. It's you can, and I've had this happen a lot. You get friends who, or these supposed friends, right? You get these people who become acquainted with you for whatever reason. Maybe it's your work, maybe it's your hobbies, maybe it's your interests, maybe it's something like this where you are on a social media platform and you develop relationships with people. The first initial week, within the first week, your friendships burn warmly. Everything is really cool and awesome. Give it some time. You don't necessarily want to become too attached to people right away, just because of a knee-jerk reaction to a common interest or a common, passion that you guys may have. Because after a short period of time, things will fizzle out, and there is no friendship there anymore. It'll be been extinguished and it's over. So, the true test of friendship, I think, to be learned here is, you may not always agree on everything at all times. As friends will look out for each other in ways that may seem a bit harsh at times, but it's not about making each other happy all the time. It's about being real with one another, and it's about showing each other when you're messing up and when you need to be told that you're going in the wrong direction, that you need to really watch what you're doing there. This or that, to be the friend that you need to be, not the friend that you want this other person to be, that you think they want you to be. Stanza 52. You should not give only big gifts. Often a little thing will win you favor. I have won friends with just half a loaf of bread and a bowl of soup. And I feel like this stanza is the thing that really defines what true friendship is. You cannot buy friendship. And I've seen this happen, and I think we have all seen this happen. We have seen people who come into our lives and feel like that because of who we are, because of the qualities that we have, or maybe even we've done this at times, perhaps. You know, we see qualities in other people that we admire, that we want to be a part of their lives at all times, or in a lot of the times. And so we feel like buying our favor with them is what needs to happen, you know. I've been acquainted with people who, at a concert or as a social event, here, let me buy you a drink. Here, you like this? You want this? Here, let me get this for you. Oh, you want that? Oh, I got you, man. I got you. And then what does that do to us? What is that? How does that, you know, teach us how to, you know, practice Gabo? The you know, Gabo, right? The exchange of gifts mutually. How does that teach us how to do that? No, it instead gives us this, you know, unsavory, you know, attitude towards this person of, well, all I ever need to do is say something to them or use them for something, which, again, if you look back at some of these older stanzas where it's talking about, you know, dealing treacherously with those who deal treacherously with you, and speaking, you know, well of people that you want to get something out of, even though they're not a good friend. You get what you get out of somebody whenever you need it, because they may not be the best friend in the world. But here we're talking about wholesome friends, and here we're talking about what it means to be good friends, and that you can't buy your way into that sort of thing. It has to be something that comes from the heart, and it doesn't always have to be something great. You know, if all it is just, you know, a glass of water sitting on the porch outside on a hot day, or if it's just sitting in the living room having a chat for, you know, 20, 30 minutes, or a quick message on social media, since this is a digital age and we can't always meet in person with people, that could be all it takes to show the value of your friendship with this person. You know, buying them things is not going to secure your friendship with them. Stanza 53, we have one more stanza left after this, and then I'm going to take a look at some of the live comments here if you guys don't care. Stanza 53 says, where the beaches are small, it's a small sea that washes them. And so it is with little minds. Not everyone is equally wise, but the average is moderately wise. Alright, so here is a stanza that I feel can sometimes be misinterpreted or misconstrued, or not necessarily misinterpreted, but that can be used by the wrong people to kind of put forth a certain agenda, if you will. And the reason why I'm saying this is that because of what Odin says here, is that not everyone is equally wise. And this is something that could be twisted and that could be used by anyone who's racist, or who feels that you have to be a certain race to believe a certain thing, because hey, we're not all equals, and there are some that are better than others, and there's some that are not. You know, we are superior. They could take what the Hávamál is you know, what Odin is talking about in the Hávamál here, and saying that, well, because Odin says it, you know, not everyone's equal, therefore we're better than everybody, and it's not the case, and it's not what it's trying to say here. Now, look at nature. Are eagles, golden eagles, are they more equipped to take down larger prey and to attack larger prey than a falcon? Sure they are. So are they greater than a falcon? In that sense, yes, because they have abilities given to them through nature that allow them to survive, and they've been given these things to survive. They make them greater in that aspect. But they're all still predators. They're all still, you know, have the means of living and surviving how they're supposed to. We all have the ability to be wise and to learn things and to have certain skills. Are certain people perhaps more adept to or inept or adaptable to take on these certain tasks? Sure. I mean, by simple genetics, you know, no matter how much I may work out or no matter how much food I may eat, I'm never going to be as strong as somebody else who's genetically predisposed to be able to process the foods that they eat and gain bigger, you know, muscles quicker and all this types of stuff. So there are just natural processes, you know, the process of nature that just makes things better than other things. It doesn't mean that you're superior, that I'm superior, or anything like that in the sense of racial type of thing. But it's better to be. It kind of, guys, I'm kind of going off the subject a little bit here, guys. But the whole point of it is that it's better to be moderately wise than to have all these great things that you can boast about. And Odin says that in the last stanza that we're going to be reading for today, which is stanza 54. And he says, "You should be only a little wise, never too wise. The happiest people throughout their lives are the moderately wise." I'm never one to say that you should, you know, always learn as much as you can, right? But make sure that the knowledge that you're gathering and the wisdom that you're attaining is used to not only better yourself, but better those around you and better those that are close in your life. It's better to be moderate in things. We've heard these things ever since the beginning of Hávamál, when we started reading this, you know, a month and a half ago, whenever it was, when you know, you hear about it's better to have a moderate home or a small home than to have nothing at all, and it's better to, you know, we'll be hearing about, you know, when it comes to sacrifice and things coming here soon, about how it's better to give little or nothing than to give too much. You know, it doesn't always have to be the biggest and bestest. We heard it again today. You know, giving big gifts isn't what always is going to secure your friendship. So I think, for me, anyway, the lessons that I got from reading today's Hávamál readings is that moderation is the key. And this has been an ongoing theme for several weeks now. You know, moderation, kindness, wittiness, using your wisdom, and don't be that type of person that feels like you can buy your way into friendship, and don't be the one who accepts bribery or that accepts gifts without being able to give those gifts in return. I, for one, am always thinking of ways that if anybody has done things for me, as what have I done to repay that kindness, and what have I done to say thank you, and to give that gift back in return. It's a very important concept for me. I'm going to take a quick look at the live feed comments here, guys, so just bear with me here. Baron has checked in and says, okay, so he's commenting, says he loves keeping Danheim in the background in his home. Yes, I do too. And Brandon is saying that you cannot forcefully make friends. Friends come to you naturally. So yeah, you guys, put that back there. Yes, friends will come. The good friends come naturally. I feel like, especially with some of us who, some of the people who are commenting and who are watching now have involvement in other social platforms such as music, and especially in the area where I live, which is Murfreesboro, Tennessee, close to Nashville. There's a very, very vast network of musicians, and I feel like that's something that you don't always make friends per se in that industry. You make a lot of acquaintances and you meet a lot of people, perhaps some people that even feel like they can buy their way into your life through services and goods and things like that. Just be careful. Be careful with that. Anyway, everyone, thank you again so much for tuning in today. I'm going to leave some information down in the description box below for the YouTube viewers. I'd like you to definitely please check out the comment section in the YouTube video for ways of contacting me via my Facebook page and via Gmail for any sort of ideas that you may have, and also for rune castings or rune draws. I do them. I do a rune draw for myself every day. But if you're interested in working with me, I do offer rune castings and rune draws for a nominal fee. And let me just be straight up in front with you guys, is that I'm not trying to, you know, charge an arm and a leg for anything like this. This is something that simply I am offering as a gift, and then in return, the finances or the money that I can get from that will definitely help in growing this channel and making better quality videos, better content, you know, things that I hope you all will support me in, which I, again, greatly appreciate the support that I've gotten thus far with all of the likes and the shares and the follows and the subscribers. I really appreciate each and every single one of you, and I hope that you will continue to do so in my endeavor. So again, once again, everybody, please check out the comment section in the YouTube video, which will be up. If you're watching this on Facebook now, the YouTube video will be up later on. So check all that out. Thank you again so much for watching today, and I apologize for the late viewing or for the late broadcast. But I was at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival today, and I was in character. So I decided, you know what? Let me just come back here and come out to you fine folks in this format. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is something that I should continue doing for the live feeds? Let me know down here in the comments. I love all of you. Thank you again so much for watching Midgard Musings this week. Skull to each and every one of you. I will see you all again in the next video. Thanks again for all of your support.